Welcome. We're here today to review Critters, filmed in 1986. We are also reviewing Foundation, starring Terrence Mann as one brother Dusk.
Or better known as... What's his name in this movie? Robert... What is it?
Johnny
Steele.
Steele.
Johnny Steele.
And he was the main bounty hunter?
Yes.
Yeah. He got an "and" in the opening credits.
It was interesting. He was the very last in the opening credits. Yes, we get plenty of intro to him as a rock and roller here on Earth. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. We got a good description of him out there.
And I personally really enjoyed it. And I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of love this movie also.
I loved the first 15 minutes of it. 15, 20 minutes.
And then you slept through the rest of it.
Something happened.
Hey, yeah.
But
So-
it was good.
I remember seeing this box art at Blockbuster when I was a kid and never picking it. It always looked so cheesy and terrible. But we had cousins who watched the Tremors movies. And I feel like if my cousins hadn't gotten me into Tremors, I would have felt the same way about the Tremors movies as I do Critters.
I feel like this movie would have scared you. It would have scared the shit out of you.
Yeah, you're right.
Starship Troopers.
I was. We have talked about Starship Troopers on this show many times.
It's come up before.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It would scare the shit out of me. Things biting you in the dark. Yeah. Thank God I never happened to see it.
Biting you to death.
They're not very nimble, though. But
Critters.
I used to have nightmares about Chucky from Child's Play. And the thing was, even in my nightmares, he was slow and uncoordinated. Like, you could kick him and beat the shit out of him, but the scary part was he never stops. He just keeps coming. I imagine that's the critters seem pretty resilient as well.
They do seem resilient. They have a few features that make them worthy adversaries. So we open on a prison asteroid, a maximum security asteroid. Only 8 out of the 10 Krite prisoners have made it to this point.
Yeah.
And it's like totally normal. They're like, yeah, we had to kill 2 of them. They were eating too much. And they're like, oh, okay, come on. That's totally
like,
fine.
If that's your level of ethics, I mean, just kill all of them, right?
Right.
What's the problem? How about that prison warden?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. He looked
Xanty?
he looked a little bit phallic.
Okay.
I thought.
Yeah.
Personally.
Okay. I didn't see that at the time, but I could see.
I saw more of a turd.
I thought the prison looked like a turd. It was like a giant space turd. I did get that, but
I got more turd vibes from Xanty, but I'm glad you brought him up because the whole movie is filled with practical effects and it's so cool.
Floating
Makeup,
chair.
scenery, miniatures. It's so cool to see everything done in practical effects. And I really enjoyed that throughout the film. And Xanty was front and center. I love it so much. And these were not shitty. These were really good.
yeah, there were a couple really good ones.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
enjoyed
you're right.
it. I enjoyed both the work and the tricks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when you know it's a trick, sometimes it's so real good.
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple scenes that we're probably gonna have to talk about here.
Definitely.
I did have one thing that I wrote down about Xanty.
Yes.
It's like he looks like a Twi'lek mixed with Krang, the floaty brain from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Huh, yeah.
But very Twi'lek-y head.
Yeah, like smooth,
You look like...
Yeah.
But he didn't have the antenna things.
No.
Yeah. Flesh horns.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a like piss poor prison handoff. They docked and
everything
then they escaped.
went wrong.
It was like
Everything went wrong.
The Krites.
Crates.
Yeah, the Krites pretty much broke free immediately.
Yeah, these guys suck at this.
Jacked a ship and we're out of there. I kept thinking about The Thing just because we get like very similar opening of ship in space and Earth and the crash landing.
Then we meet our main family.
Oh, right.
They go so deep into showing us the everyday life of these people that for a moment I legit forgot that we were watching
Yeah.
Yeah.
a space-based horror movie.
It's quite slow.
I didn't think it was slow, but they did work like really hard to set up these characters.
Billy Zane.
Yeah, Billy calls this girl, 19
April.
and a half-year-old girl.
She's a little old for this movie, for this part.
Before breakfast. Has anyone here ever called on someone they fancied before breakfast?
No, hell no.
Yeah,
Would you?
Definitely not. Maybe it was more of a thing in the 80s, though.
No.
Like call before school, like.
Yeah.
But that would be more like your buddy.
And you know you're gonna get their mom because she's in the kitchen making breakfast. I don't know.
I imagine girls in junior high calling each other like, "What color shirt are you gonna wear today?"
No, I mean some of them might have done that. I did not do that. I'm just one of many.
I mean, I said I could imagine.
Yeah,
but it was a different culture back then.
Okay, maybe out in the sticks of Kansas.
Early risers.
Yeah,
maybe that explains it.
How about this dad's introduction? He's working in the barn. Mm-hmm. It's like you got to get mechanic dad, but you also got to get farmer dad at the same time, you know?
Well, they're both. If you live on a farm, you're a mechanic, and if you farm as well.
Well, I mean, typically, I think you could just do that. Sure, yes, you're right. I just think it's funny that they're like trying to shove it all in there. Also, a little hipsterish. Drinking his coffee out of the jar.
Yeah, mason jar.
Yeah.
This was before hipsters.
That's true. I want to comment on the kitchen, the mint green kitchen. I thought it was awesome.
I did not notice that.
It's a small aside, but I really like that kitchen. 80s kitchen.
The washer dryer were those weird colors back then.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, they did go hard with their coordination back then.
I was getting redheaded stepchild vibes, but because it was weird, they all had different hair colors.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know.
He did say he was gonna skin him and like hang his bones from the clothesline. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I think the dork from New York is a really great nickname.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I guess nickname isn't really the right word.
Steven, the dork from New York.
The dork from New York.
Yeah, okay. Oh, and then also Neelix was in there around that time too, right?
Right, the other cop.
And how I fell asleep, but was he in there for more of the movie?
So later on, at one point, this is skipping ahead a little bit.
Oh.
No, I have stuff.
Okay.
It's close.
That's good enough. I know
Okay.
He comes up again.
Okay.
I just want to say I really enjoyed the exposition on the bounty hunters ship. They're getting the briefing from Xanthi about their job, this particular job.
Yeah.
So we learned that they can transform and that they were very destructive on their previous mission.
Right.
Oh, I forgot about that line.
And then they shut off they're like, we don't care. Stop giving us directions.
Wait, so also they were the ones that were like yellow blank faces?
Yeah.
Green Man.
Okay.
Yeah. They seem to be really bad at their job.
The most bumbling bounty hunters ever.
Not like Boba Fett.
No.
Well, Boba in the original movies, Boba's a little bumbly, but these guys take the cake. The driving of the car, they just drive the car backwards. They're like, good enough. He rips the shifter off, or the windshield.
Also, they're a different species from a different planet, so you got to give them some leeway.
They really double down on that, though.
I would agree.
Filming.
They're very shoot first, ask questions later. There's no stealth.
Right.
Okay,
There's no plan when they
There.
arrive to look for the Krites. They don't like start anywhere in particular. They just start demanding Krites from every person that they come across.
Yeah, they're not like following any trail. They just walk into a church and they're like, we're here for them.
Like kill people.
Huh? Why?
It's plot. You can't question it.
Okay.
I agree. Also, the way that they transform, mutate, if you will, is by melting completely down to the bone and then regrowing the face that they need.
Which brings us to more of the practical effects, and that was the main one that I thought of when I had thought of practical effects.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's very cool, very inefficient on a biological level.
But they're getting like the most accurate transformation, right? Because they got it down to the skeletal structure.
Well, our skeletals, everything above the skeletal structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, they go down to the bone.
The bones didn't change, did they? How do you know?
Well, there was a human skull down at the bottom before Terrence Mann transformed into Johnny Steele.
Yeah.
So it would be weird if they had human skulls, but they were like...
I just assumed that was his.
No, I think he transformed that skull as like a base for the rest of his features.
Got it.
So maybe behind the green men is their bones, and then they just transform directly above the bones? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think they transform the bones themselves, and then they work forward. Because a lot of your facial features are based on your skeletal structure.
Right.
You know?
You know this personally?
Yeah. From Bones School. Back when I was in Bone School.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So back on the farm, Brad is making lots of explosives, and I'm like very concerned about this.
Yeah, holy shit, that kid.
It reminds me of a conversation I was having this morning with a friend who grew up in Wyoming and said, like, if we grew up anywhere closer to people, we would have CBS on us all the time, but we were just wild. I know these explosives are going to be instrumental later on. Like, it's foreshadowing, but I am very concerned that this child is just making bombs.
They're firecrackers. Bro, that's dynamite.
Yeah.
You're like...
Yeah, that's an M80.
Yeah, that's not... The amount of powder that he's taking out and putting into those gigantic sticks are...
Woo. Boys will be boys.
We're at the Charlie scene yet?
Yes, I think this is the time.
Is Charlie the redheaded stepchild one?
No, that's
Charlie's.
Brad is the redheaded stepchild.
Okay.
So we get to explain part of this movie to Cody.
Yeah.
From nap time.
Yeah.
So Brad is the redheaded stepchild, and Charlie and Brad are palling around outside. Charlie is like
he's the drunk alien guy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
He gets transformed into a bounty hunter. Oh.
No.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Later.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
I mean, we're spoiling it already.
Yeah, this whole thing is spoilers.
They made it in 1986.
People haven't seen it, and they may want to see it.
Well, don't click this video.
You have to come back later.
So Brad ignites that gigantic explosive, and that scene ends with Charlie shooting April in the ass with the slingshot.
Charlie aiming at a can. I thought he was going to break one of the windows on the car. I did too.
Yeah, because they were talking about the car.
And then he got her on the booty.
Yeah.
Bradley took the fall.
Such a strange chain of events.
I was very impressed by what I chose to interpret as maturity in this young man.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at the fact that old Charlie doesn't have a lot, but he's got this job. And this job is probably pretty important to old Charlie. And he knows he's going to get in trouble, but he'll bounce back. So he sees his own privilege and he uses it as a shield to protect someone else. Yeah. And I was like, wow, way to go. Way to go, Brad.
Now that's character.
Yeah.
That's
noble.
Yeah, I thought so. But then when he's being scolded multiple times in like multiple different places, like he gets sent to his room and he's getting scolded, at no point in time does he say, sorry, I was aiming at the can. That was stupid of me.
Right, yeah.
Like, which is almost the truth, which is closer to the truth. Like,
you're already lying, bro. And you never meant to, neither of you meant to hit her anyway.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
Like, I get that he was taking the fall. I thought that was very noble. Could have used the can excuse. Like, then you're at least stupid instead of malicious, and everyone prefers that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point.
And then the ship lands. Charlie, the town drunk who always talks about aliens, sees it.
Right.
We see Neelix the cop.
So that's the thing about Charlie and guys like Charlie. Don't be out drinking, staring at the sky at 2 a.m, you know? You're going to see some shit, and you're not going to like what you see.
And no one's going to believe you if you're the town drunk. So.
I mean, that part... Yeah, that's going to happen no matter what. But at least if you're not out there in the dark drinking, you won't see it anyway. You can just go live in bliss and ignorance.
I don't know, man. I think it's the chicken and the egg. He's pretty miserable. He can't sleep. He's got to do something. Might as well ride his bike and drink. maple syrup. And it wasn't 2 a.m. Everyone was like up and about.
Yeah, you're right. It was more like, well, it was like 10.
It was evening.
Because he was able to pop back over to the bar.
Right.
The bowling alley. The bar in the bowling alley. Oh, when they were piloting the ship. Their little...
The Krites piloting it?
Yes.
Yeah. Their little rocket raccoon hands all over everything, like smashing buttons and operating fine machinery with their little claws.
With their claws.
Yeah, that's great.
So at this point, we meet Neelix. It's a bummer.
Ethan Phillips.
Now, at this point, we're 32 minutes in to the movie, and we still have not seen the monster. Which, I don't know.
True.
Feelings, thoughts,
I was asleep.
But, so, like, generally speaking, do you like an early reveal? Like,
Wait, so the Krites didn't show up until 32 minutes?
We didn't see... And it was shortly after this. I wrote down at 32 minutes, we still had not seen the monster.
So they were mentioned, but they were never physically shown.
Yes.
Right.
And they're building the suspense. Like, we know that they eat everything. We see the cow that they destroy.
Right.
So they're building up to what these terrible things might be.
Yeah.
I think for an 80s movie, it might make sense for it to be more slow-paced because something more modern would be faster-paced. Also, it kind of builds up because once they do reveal it, they're like such a comically visual monster.
They're pretty comical.
That's a good point. So, where does this movie land? Was it intentionally horror? I guess in the 80s, you could walk that line of like goofy and horror. Like Freddy Krueger, Tremors is like that. It's scary, but it's also kind of a little quirky.
Comedy horror.
Yeah.
This is my favorite kind of horror movie. I don't like a slasher. I can only sometimes do it psychological. I like this.
Yeah. Because they're tiny little fur balls that roll around.
Yes.
But also, you just got done mentioning how you said Chucky scared you because he would just go and never stop, and he's a tiny little child's toy, so maybe this is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Sort of the same idea.
Like cute things can be terrifying?
Yeah, something so innocent looking.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah.
When he finds the crate the first time, it's on a bookshelf, and it's clearly some kind of wild animal.
Oh, in the stuffed animal shelf above the pickling.
Yeah, the uncovered stuffed animals.
Yeah.
The youngest kid is what, 12?
Just open in the cellar.
PSA, don't touch wild animals, y'all. Even if you don't think it's a crate.
Yeah.
Any kind of wild animal that you think even if you think it is a cat, don't touch it. Don't stick your hand. Don't.
Raccoon.
No.
Oh.
Definitely not.
Skunk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Don't touch it. Okay,
whatever
got
it is, don't touch it.
Got it.
No. Get your big leather barbecue / metal melting gloves on if you're going to go anywhere near it, you crazy person. So he kind of was asking for it. And he's the first to get jacked. His projectile spikes. Also,
the dad?
Yeah.
Wait, there was another scene I wanted to talk about.
Oh, what do you want to share?
The mom, when the plate breaks. I can't remember the mom's name.
I don't think she has one.
Okay.
Barbara?
Barbara and Brad.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. She drops the plate, and she just saw the eyes of the critter out in the window, and the dad comes in and scares the shit out of her, and she's explaining to him what happened, and Brad's like, it was probably just a cat, and she's like, yeah, probably. Like, how quickly.
So they just gaslighted her.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she was on board.
The song that keeps playing in this movie, the power of night, the power of delusion is more like it. This woman's ability to just like flip the switch and be like, yeah, it's like very Stepford Wives. Like, you're right. It probably was just the cat.
That must have been the wind.
She's used to it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're right.
So
No, honey, you just fell down some stairs.
one thing that I don't think is used very often anymore is the critter POV cam.
Oh, yeah.
And they use that in this movie.
Oh, they did that so much in Tremors.
Yes,
Half
that's
that movie
exactly
is
what I was
shot
thinking.
With the like creature cam.
And that's the same era. And do they still do that? Or did I just stop watching
I think they
spooky
do.
movies? Do they still do that? I love it.
Didn't Jason get that cam? Like following the teenagers at camp?
That's creepy. But a critter is like on the ground, like
Right.
Yeah.
in the bushes, face to face with a dog. And I'm glad you mentioned that they travel by rolling, because actually, isn't that really smart? If you're doing all practical effects, actually, even if you're not any kind of effects, to have a creature move and articulate and like interact with gravity, like that is hard.
Good point. Yeah.
If
They
you,
have legs.
yes,
Yeah,
but
because
it was more like a Sonic thing.
when they were,
When they needed to go fast, they would, you know,
they are very hedgehoggish. Because even their legs
Right.
are tiny little.
they have tiny little legs. They have projectile spikes.
Right. I was thinking porcupine because I remember the spike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
And
but
so they
Sonic was a
didn't-
hedgehog.
And they didn't have to worry anything at all about limbs or any of that. My next note is about the bounty hunters continuing to be terrible at their jobs.
I finally gave up and wrote down these guys are just idiots.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a point where
You want to give them some grace. They,
you are trying to show that they're from another planet and
Yeah.
they don't know
Yeah.
stuff. But like, yeah, it got to the point where it was just slapstick.
the fact that one of them got out of the ship with his big green glowing head,
Right.
like it doesn't matter what planet you land on, probably you're gonna need some kind of camouflage. Like even if he had gone all solid green, dark green, blend in, I don't know,
Yeah.
pick a face, buddy.
So Papa J gets rocked down in the cellar,
Yeah.
and we get back inside, and Brad is playing with the needle. He tells him, "No, be careful, Brad. That's poisonous."
Poison.
Thanks, honey. I'm starting to get feeling back. It was like he hasn't delivered any of his lines clunkily up until that moment. For some reason,
He's poisoned now.
I know, but for some reason, it was like that was so specifically exposition. It was like delivered worse. Like it got in his head that he had to deliver exposition or something, which he got hit in the spine.
Maybe it affects the periphery first.
I'll tell you what it affects is women.
Oh.
She was down.
Yeah, that's
Dad
true.
was crawling out of that cellar and ready to load the shotgun. Mom was straight out.
Well, mom and sister both got theirs straight to the jugular,
Okay.
and they
all
pussed
right.
up.
Interesting.
Like got him in like the shoulder or something.
it got him in the spine.
Did it?
I swear it hit
Okay,
him in
I
the
believe
spine.
you. I don't
He got
recall.
2 actually, didn't
He
he?
did.
Well, he's a big strong man, so it didn't really touch him.
He sure is.
He just powered right
ox.
through. He never lost consciousness even.
That's correct. But he couldn't even walk. He had to send his 12-year-old son to get help.
Yeah. Well, before he sends off Brad, we could talk about the church destruction. Have we discussed
Yeah,
that yet?
we got to talk more about the bounty hunters. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about them and what they're doing this entire time. Because
What do you recall of the bounty hunters, Cody? Get us set up.
I recall the first person that was transformed was the rock and roll guy.
Right.
Man.
right,
T-Man.
that's our brother.
And then
Brother Dusk.
for one part where I had woken up, I know that I saw it was like the reverend or the priest was transformed.
Yeah, so they come across Neelix. What was his name? Jeff.
Jeff the cop.
Cop Jeff.
And I'm like, oh, God, no. He's going to be Neelix for this whole freaking movie.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm not a Neelix fan, in
Yes.
case it's not obvious.
Neelix is gonna get some more screen time.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, they
Love
brought
him.
him back.
He's great.
Don't worry, he didn't stick around.
It didn't last very long. See, again, those bumbling bounty hunters saw like the scratched up face, and he was like, "Good enough, I'll do."
Yeah, didn't repair anything. Didn't make any inferences whatsoever.
Yeah.
They get to the church. He turns into the preacher.
Right.
Shoots the place up unnecessarily. They're encountering no resistance whatsoever. So like they're just burning this
should they
path.
at the church?
They should not be.
Why did they go to the church?
They're flame throwing.
They just drove the car backwards until they hit something, and they were like,
and it happened to be the church.
"They're here."
And then they end up at the bowling alley. And again,
I think you missed this. He just straight rips the door off the hinges. He just like picks it up and throws it to the side. Let's check in here.
right?
But I had missed the line earlier about making so much destruction on their hunt.
Oh yeah.
So that changes things.
They must just be like stupid jocks, like really good at destruction and not good at thinking, because at one point one of them shoots a television because there's a gunshot on the television. They're not familiar with media.
He picked up a bowling ball and shattered all the pins.
They don't. I mean,
for no reason.
I can understand them not having bowling. Why he would do that, I don't know. But they don't have any media. Like he's never heard a television or whatever they call it. Like he's watched the hollow screen of Zarek.
Right. That's
Xanti's message.
Well, he also trained about Earthlings on his little dual screens.
Right. Yeah.
He knows what entertainment is.
Maybe he's just annoyed by it. I
think
guess
so, yeah. Well, they don't seem to have a point. I guess the problem with the story of the movie is the critters are stuck at the farm. So you need to like establish the bounty hunters on Earth in some way before you can get them to the farm. Because once they get to the farm, like those things are outmatched for sure, right?
Hopefully.
I guess you could do a lot of the story like cat and mouse games with the critters and the bounty hunters at the farm, and the bounty hunters have to like let down their guard and team up with the family
to outwit the
critters. I guess you could tell your story that way, but instead they just decided to send the bounty hunters traipsing around and breaking shit in town.
Well, maybe they're establishing that they're kind of learning as they go. Maybe they're dumb when they first get here, and then they progressively get smarter.
Why? The critters or the bounty hunters?
The bounty hunters.
Why, though? Why are they so dumb?
Well, like, they seemed dumb at first, but by the end, they were, like, communicating with the little boy once they all left, and he, like, gave him his little badge thing, and I don't know. They rebuilt the farmhouse for him.
Yeah.
You're right. They did get a little bit better at interpersonal relationships.
Right. Okay. Yeah, maybe
towards the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see the whole thing, so I'm not the most informed.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not a lot of development there. They kind of just go from being mutes to giving a kid a thing. Yeah. You're right. It is development. It is definitely
maybe
strange.
In Crush 2 and 3 and 4 and 5,
we'll have to
masterminds.
We'll have to check that out. Yeah.
I wonder if the bounty hunters come back.
I wonder.
And if so, yeah, they would definitely come back smarter than they started the first time.
Right.
Definitely. Like they definitely learned and grew in this adventure on Earth.
Yeah.
Maybe the point of the movie wasn't about catching the critters, but the friends that they made along the way.
The friends they made along the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of friends we made along the way, I think that brings us to the bounty hunters bumping into Bradley on the highway.
Oh, yeah. Bradley throws himself in front of the bounty hunters, brings them back to the farm.
The logistics of that were a little muddy, I think. But
it was fine.
Boy, get hour and 25-minute movie. I'm in. Get us there. Let's get to the house. Let's get the guns out. Let's get these critters.
Yes.
So before the bounty hunters arrive to the farmhouse, have they killed any? He killed one with a dynamite, right?
Yeah, that was before the bounty hunters arrived.
Did that one die?
Yeah.
If you had a little if you were making this movie,
Yeah.
right? You knew you wanted to do this scene, like the kid is obsessed with explosives. You have an idea, like maybe I can get one to eat it, or I could hit it in his mouth. Would you then decide? Would you say to yourself, and then it'll just swallow it, and then its mouth will smoke?
I actually liked it.
Instead of the thing exploding,
Yes.
you have a little creature you could explode, and you don't explode it.
Yes.
That sounded wrong out of context. I don't enjoy exploding little creatures. I'm just saying, if you're gonna make a movie with explosives and creatures, you should blow up a creature.
I thought the little smoke puff was kind of cute.
Interesting.
Yeah, I liked it.
Cody,
I didn't see it.
you don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, well,
I mean,
instead
you
of
can picture one of the
you can
critters.
Well, it didn't explode. It just
It went.
it swallowed a dynamite.
yeah, and its cheeks inflated, and smoke came out.
And then it looked for a second like it was going to be fine, and then it face planted.
Yeah, then it fell over.
An explosion might have been too much. Maybe that would have changed the rating.
Oh, like if they blew blood and guts everywhere,
gory.
it would have been an R. Wait, is it an R? It's got to be an R.
Why?
Billy Zane's hand gets bit off.
It's not an R.
Okay, maybe it's not an R. Wait, we gotta look. It's PG.
PG-13.
Wow, it is PG-13.
A crate swallows a lit firecracker and blows up inside.
A lot of this movie makes more sense now, knowing that it's PG-13.
Oh, you thought it was an R. Yeah.
Because
Oh,
Neelix gets drug under the cop car, and it straight up looked like he crawled under the car. It's like nothing like jerks him away. He just like, you could see him like kind of shimmy in.
Scoots.
Yeah, he's like, I'll help you guys.
I definitely watched it as a PG-13 movie.
I think I like it even more now, knowing that it's PG-13.
Yeah, it's a kids movie.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
So bounty hunters are at the house. This is it. I think this is the
Showdown.
climax of the movie. This is the best part, especially because Emmett Walsh shows up.
Yes, I'm
Farmer.
Harv.
Harv,
The sheriff.
The sheriff.
Right. Character actor.
Yes.
They
Yes.
Like everything.
Yes.
Yes.
His character is Old Farmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Got it.
If you don't know that name, you know that actor. If
Yeah.
you look up a picture
Yeah,
of him,
absolutely. I did like the collaboration, even though he wasn't really very helpful.
Oh no, he was useless.
We only caught like glimpses of the giant critter.
Yeah, you're right.
Feet and a hand. Like,
Oh,
I don't think it. I think it's because it wouldn't have been scary.
yeah, you're definitely right
I think
about
they
that.
just.
Have you seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey,
Yes.
Cody? Do you guys remember Station?
No.
The alien genius?
Yes.
That's
yes.
like up in heaven playing chess with Einstein.
Yes.
Same costume. I swear they used the same costume. They had to. It's like they pulled the Critters costume out of storage and they pulled the teeth out of it and they were like, cool, we got Station. We can keep making Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
I can't wait to look at the side by side.
Oh yeah. I hopefully it's up right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
I can't see it though.
It's right there.
I can turn my head that far.
Oh, I understand.
Okay. And yeah, neck problems. Sorry.
We need to talk about the one getting blasted off of the porch because it's followed by the one fuck you can use in a movie, I guess. So once you use the F word in a movie, you're an R. And if you don't want to be an R, you get 1.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for them. Good use.
Okay, let's hear it. What was the use?
Oh, tell them.
There's two of them sitting on the porch.
2 critters.
2 critters, and they've just managed to get back inside off of the porch with their lives. And one critter says to the other, "They have weapons." And the other one says, "Who cares?" Then he gets blasted.
And then the mom opens the door with the shotgun and disintegrates one of them. Blasts him right off the porch, point blank.
totally bitch blasted.
And the other one goes, fuck, and rolls away.
So they could talk? I didn't know the critters.
They can talk to each other.
Oh, like telepathy or something.
No, they chirp. Yeah, but we get
So it was like-
subtitles.
oh, okay.
Yeah, subtitles.
And the subtitle was fuck.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even technically a real fuck.
Well,
I'm sure the
makes me wonder.
FCC considered it a technical fuck.
yeah. That was great. Good use of it.
Yes, agreed.
So now we're down to like 5 at that point.
Right, because 8 landed.
Yeah, there's the dynamite one, the one on the porch.
The dad got one. Oh, the kid
dad got one.
shoots the fan and gets one.
Oh, the kid shoots the fan and the fan falls on one.
Okay, so we're down to 4.
Yeah. Then the bounty hunter shoots the one in the toilet. Right, that leaves 3. I think there's 3 on the ship.
And they escape?
Yeah. The big one grabs April while the dad and son are inside the house. Oh no, sorry, the bounty hunter. The bounty hunter and Brad come outside.
Yes.
And April's been drug away by the large critter.
Yes, and they chase after her. And they go in to get her.
They chase her to the spaceship. The critters are on the ship. She's going to be like their in-flight snack, apparently.
Yeah.
And it looked to be about 2 or 3 of them have made it on. And they're doing their pre-flight with their little rocket raccoon hands. And Brad sneaks aboard the ship, pulls the poison dart out of April's neck.
And she's fine.
Yeah, she immediately wakes up and they walk out.
Oh, thanks, man.
He drops his dynamite, his baby boy dynamite inside.
Dynamite.
Dynamite. And all the while, Charlie's outside.
Standing guard.
He's being a real Shaggy. He's being a real Shaggy out there.
He is being a real Shaggy.
I don't know what to do. And so they get out, and old Shaggy comes up with the idea to light his liquor bottle with a dry rag.
Yeah.
A Molotov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they drop...
Brad drops the firecracker without lighting it.
Right.
Firecracker.
Yes.
And then Charlie comes up with the brilliant idea to make a Molotov cocktail. So he sticks a dry rag into his booze bottle, which, by the way, he dropped when he saw the ship. So he's got a second bottle of booze. Like, that is real desperation.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
He sticks the dry rag in, and then it manages to light miraculously. They throw it Molotov cocktail style. And who knows? We don't know right away.
Yeah.
There's no explosion.
No. We don't know right away because the critters need to make one last stop before they get out of here.
They have one more thing to do.
They gotta gas up.
They stop over the farmhouse and blow it up.
Oh.
And then laugh maniacally.
Nice.
And that's when the firecracker explodes and the ship blows up. Happily ever after.
I think that might have been my favorite scene of the whole
That was
movie.
amazing.
When they laugh
good.
maniacally, like...
You kind of know exactly what movie you're watching at that point.
It's weird to say this, but it develops their characters so much. It gives them
Yeah.
more personality. That's what it does. Like,
Yeah.
it gives them evil personalities.
Yeah, what a bunch of little assholes.
Yeah.
And then the bounty hunters part ways, giving Brad a little communicator,
Yes.
which beeps when they get back to the house, and the house puts itself back together.
Yeah. Did you see that part,
I
Cody?
did, yeah. I woke up for that part.
That was a cool shot.
I liked it.
Reverse
Mm-hmm.
explosion. It's so cool. Practical effects. Like, I just love it. I just love it.
So that's the end of our review for Critters. You guys have anything else you would like to say about Critters?
I feel like we said it all.
Yeah.
The power of the night.
Wow, you remember the song?
I love that song. Was great. I was kind of hoping they would play it more.
Was that the one that Terrence Mann sang?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you think they intentionally got a actor that looked similar to Tim Curry?
Thank you.
Or
That
was
was
that
the
just
one other thing I
coincidence?
wanted to say. He definitely had the T. Curry vibe.
Yeah, for sure. All right, internet users. Thanks so much for checking out our review of Critters. We got to check in on our man Terrence. If you want to hear more from us, we'll be continuing our review of Foundation. And if you have something else you want us to review or check out, let us know in the comments.
We are curious. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Thanks, Cody, for joining us on this special spooky episode.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Wow, what a
Great guys.
natural. All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Take care.
See ya.
Stay spooky, y'all.